What is going on, everyone? My name's Mrboat and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Set. His name is Mrboat. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Nullus. The map is Mediterranean, and this is a best of three for basically just between these two players for the Champions League. These guys are some of the up-and-comers who have really impressed a lot of people over the recent months. For example, Nullus in the top 20 of the Vubli ladder, taking games off literally everyone, and really cementing himself as a very powerful Oranos player. And Mrboat, on the other hand, performing incredibly well in the Extended Edition League. I think he took some games off Scardy, if I'm not mistaken. So both players are incredibly strong, and very excited to see this. This is Mediterranean. This is the first Egyptian we've seen on Mediterranean going for the set. So we'll see if Mrboat's got some sort of strategy here. Is already gathering two villagers on the wood, only two villagers on the wood, which is not standard procedure at all for set players. So this is looking like a very fast build order. The Pharaoh empowering houses as well at the beginning of the game. Two houses straight away. Very strange start here. Having to empower the town center as well to make sure the villagers keep coming out. Have to keep an eye on this one to see exactly what he's going for here, because I'm intrigued. He has grabbed my attention with this build order. He really has. Nullus, on the other hand, he's got his mana up already, going to be trying to surround his town center here, predicting some sort of villager rush as a possibility. He's going to try and put as much around here as possible. Temple and everything else will come down as well. And the other thing that's completely peculiar right now is the Auroch that was converted by the priest is not being used for free hunt. Instead, pigs are just being gathered, which is definitely not standard for set at all. Now, Mrboat, he is known as an Odin player because he plays a lot of Odin. But, I mean, these players are all really good at the game, so they can play any god, and because these players sort of can predict maps that might come in, they can have a strategy for every map, and Nullus is known as a Oranos one-trick. Can't play the other gods very well, or at least I haven't seen him play other gods. So he's known for his Oranos play, so Mrboat knows that he's probably going to be facing against Atlantean here. Pick and set, maybe some sort of specific strategy here. We do see the Pharaoh moving forward here as well, searching for something, and the villager sneaks by this oracle, and we will probably be seeing a forward temple here by Mrboat. Some very sneaky shenanigans indeed. But why? What's the plan here? We're going to see maybe Anubis and then Plague of Serpents on the gold mine with Priest Pharaoh and things of that nature. Not really able to stop this one here if it does come clean. This is some ultimate cheese here. More villagers pumping onto this food here. How is he going for resources? Getting very close. Nullus will be hitting the heroic age, or the classical age, I should say, right about 3:30. I think he's had almost a perfect build order here. A couple of seconds behind because of the idle town center time. Only 1 second behind. So this is as perfect as it can possibly be for Nullus, or just about as perfect as it can possibly be. We see the oracles are left in the home base as Nullus as he's preparing for something like this to happen. We're even seeing some houses coming up. This is looking like a shifting sands box if I've ever seen one. But what's the point here? What god is he going through here? Villagers stop getting built here, and he has a garrison there, and there is the Anubis. There's the second dot coming up for Mrboat as well. This temple is going to allow a very fast, a very speedy Anubite, I should say, into the base of Nullus, but he's already throwing up another mana here. Really nice wall here to prevent anything from coming in, but the Anubite will not care about this wall at all. He'll just run in, he'll jump over, and he'll start bashing away at those citizens immediately. Villager in front here as well, throwing more houses down, but the Pharaoh chilling here. For what reason? He's going to grab this relic, the mithril horseshoes. Wouldn't be a bad idea. but it may give away his position. And then Intef, the lone pharaoh, going to be moving forward and trying to harass some of these villagers. You do see an immediate valor here from Nullus, who's probably looking like he's expecting this here. I have to say, no other reason to cast valor there. So many fishing ship already out for Mr. Boat. We do see some Barim coming out now for Nullus. And Mr. Boat has got 10 villagers on wood, 6 villagers on gold, and a lot of a lot of houses in his base. There's the Anubis for Mr. Boat. He's going to start producing those cabinets out. Pharaoh and a couple of hyena and lions coming in now, going to be able to start harassing these villagers on the wood source. So we'll see if this is going to be enough. He's got the Anubite, he's got the priest, he's got 3 gazelle and 2 hyena there, plus these animals and the pharaoh. So it's a lot of units, but there are 3 oracle heroes. Looks like the pharaoh is immediately aiming for this gold mine, and he's going to be hitting these villagers here. The question is, what does Mr. Boat do? Does he cast like Plague of Serpents over here just to give himself some time on the fish? Is he still producing them? He's stopped producing them completely, and the pharaoh getting pushed back. What's he doing? What's the plan? There's no cabinets getting produced. Maybe faking the water, forcing Nullus to overcommit and then just completely all in here, but he's not building any extra priests, moving in with his own priests here, forcing Nullus back onto straggler trees, can move over onto the back of this, and we probably see a very fast watchtower here, but these watchtowers are in a pretty random location. Doesn't really defend all too much. We do see a nice shockwave onto the Anubite here, trying to pick that one off, but the priest and the pharaoh are going to be enough to pick off at least one of those heroes, and going after the other one, pick off 2 of those heroes, and then the villagers have to get off that straggler tree. Going to move on to the other side. This is a nice wall yet again, to be noted for Nullus to prevent this attack from happening. We do see more of these cabinets start getting produced now for Mr. Boat. He's sitting with very low resources at this point. Has hand axe, has pickaxe, but he's done so much pressure here on the land while he's running around trying to find something, but it's looking like Nullus has managed to defend this one, deflect this pressure relatively easily. There's more cabinets here getting sniped. This is not really what you want to be doing here. You need to mass out enough so that you can then use your Plague of Serpents to control and then sit underneath your docks while you're grabbing extra town centers and play a little bit of a later style in the game. We do see a granary coming up now for Mr. Boat as he realizes he needs to get out that granary to defend, and we do see Plague of Serpents coming down now. Citizen almost getting picked off here. Plague of Serpents onto this gold mine is going to be huge because it's allowing him to push Nullus off this one. These citizens have to get away from this gold mine. They can easily move over onto this gold mine here, which you do see the citizens are already doing. And now I don't know what Mr. Boat's going to be able to, how Mr. Boat's going to be able to win this water here. There's already, what's that? I can't count. I can't select everything. 15 Barim here. So he's only got like 6 in his docks so far. The pharaoh and the priests have snuck through here to sit onto these serpents, but so these villagers are already moving over. Does Nullus not know about this gold? Well, he doesn't know about the gold mine, but he's going to the far gold mine, which is sort of a smart move because Mr. Boat won't probably check that one, whereas he would easily check this one. More of these Murmillo coming into this military barracks here, and Nullus is just content right now, sitting just out of this range. We're going to see the cabinets popping out now. We have a total of 11 cabinets to the 15 Barim, as we said, but there's a lot of low HP ones here, and Nullus not paying attention here. He does lose one of them, so that's helping out Mr. Boat quite a bit as he is ready to start fighting on this water after doing all of that damage. We see an armory up now for Mr. Boat. I don't think he's got a monument to the villagers just yet, so we'll see if he can remember to do that or not. These villagers sitting idle while this is all going on for Mr. Boat, and Nullus has got some really strong micro pulling his ships back, but it's looking like Mr. Boat is actually able to make a fairly decent push out here, still microing nicely, splitting these Barim up into 2 groups, but you can just kind of counter this by splitting your own cabinets up into 2 groups. You don't have to be so precious with them, having some chasing these ones and the rest fighting the other ones would have been totally fine there. And we do see still this looks like Nullus doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, whatever, you can have that gold mine. I've got my own one over in the corner there, so totally fine. And now the Bareem's still chasing in, but kind of getting out of position as cabinets are right in here, ready to fight. There's so many low HP Bareem in this Nullus Navy here, whereas, I mean, there's so many low HP cabinets as well. So we'll see who can win this one. Mrboat trying to micro back with these ships that pulls a lot of these Bareems back, but it's looking like it's not working out for him just yet, as Nullus has still got quite the significant numbers advantage here. But actually, does he even have a significant numbers? It actually looks like he doesn't here. And Nullus is fighting this one when he really shouldn't be. Nice micro from Mrboat to pull that cabinet back, but he needs to get it back into the fight, which will make itself come back there, and that's going to force Nullus back out of here, as Mrboat is doing a phenomenal job with his navy. While this is all going on, we've got some of these Murmillo here, which could be moving into harass some of Mrboat's lands here. Imagine if they came in, picked off this watchtower, they could pick off all these villages on this wood line here as well and do a lot of damage to Mrboat's base, but he's opting not to do that. But Nullus has finally sort of cracked the set fleet here, as he's able to push them back to the docks and force them to fight underneath here. Does garrison some fishing ships, so he's going to have both docks able to do quite a bit of damage, but there's really not that many cabinet left, as Mrboat is struggling to produce, as the Oranos economy is just powering ahead here, doing crazy good work, and all of these cabinet will be falling. But it is the 10-minute mark, so it's totally fine to be losing that water at this period in the game, as long as you can get your town center up and continue here. We do see a second town center now coming up for Nullus as well, so he's not looking to pressure or do anything of that kind. There's the town center coming up for Mrboat, and he's got, how many resources did everyone got? Mrboat's got a little bit of food in the bank, so he's able to spam those villages out without any too much care. He's got a couple of boar over here as well, just to run up a mining camp on that location there. We may have to eat those. And in the corner of the map there is some berries, a couple of pigs as well, but we'll see if those get noticed or not. When we do see cabinets getting built yet again for Mrboat, not ready to just give up on the water, but we'll see what happens. Nullus is going to be able to power ahead and get to the Mythic Age very fast, or maybe even go for the Hyperion Gold Starve with Sky Passages, which Moore has been doing very well of late. You want to send villagers forward, Sky Passage on both sides, and then hit with the satyr and things like that. But this town center does secure this gold mine quite nicely. This one not so much. Some idle villages here for Mrboat as he's throwing up a barracks. Has to build up some axemen if he wants to do any sort of work against Nullus' Oranos here. We do see a villager moving forward to build up a wall, as it seems. We do see pickaxe coming in for Nullus as well, as the cabinets pop out, trying to defend the couple of fishing ships that he does have left. Very small amount though. The village is getting pushed off. This food here is actually huge for Nullus, as Mrboat is just not able to really sustain any sort of food gathering here. Shockwave being used yet again on these cabinets. That's going to allow him to win this fight pretty decisively, even though he's got more Bareem. But not only that, the Shockwave helps so much. And we do see these fishing ships get picked off as well, as Nullus is just all over Mrboat here. Mrboat can come over onto this large gold mine if he wants to, though, throwing up some farms as well. Moving on to the wood. How many resources does he got? He's only got 42 gold in the bank, and he doesn't have any gold mines. Well, he's got this gold mine here with 25 gold left in it. Pharaoh sitting idle for Mrboat, needs to sort that one out. Cabinet's trying to push back into Nullus, but he just can't. Nullus is just playing this water really nicely. He's not ever overcommitting on Bareem production. He's just sitting just slightly in front of Mrboat this entire time, and he's just able to pick everything off so well because he's got such clean micro, and also the 7.25 speed Bareems do help out quite a bit as well. Taking down this barracks. Mrboat is under attack. Promethean punching away, and Mrboat does tap out in this moment. GG. Well played by Nullus. 3 town centers, wins the water, has the fish, has everything going for him that he could want. Hyperion almost 50% on the way researched, and unfortunately just Mrboat not able to do anything with that early pressure beyond pushing off this gold mine with snakes. And then Nullus just making the smart move to just leave that location and be totally content with moving over here, losing out on a little bit of gold, but wins the exchange pretty heavily, I'd say. Play God power for some resources here. Very, very smart play by Nullus, and takes that game, or game number 1. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please hit the follow button. If you're on the YouTubes, hit the subscribe button. And I will love you forever. We'll move on to game number 2 very shortly, so stick with me and we'll make that one happen soon.